Well, tonight we're going out and doing some camping, and hopefully, we're going to get some snow. Hey, my friends, I'm Mike, and welcome to Outdoor Adventure and Gear. Well, tonight I finally got a chance to get out and get a nice camp in. I think it's going to get down below 20, maybe into 10s or teens. I'm hoping we're going to get some snow. Now, we had snow flurries earlier. I don't know if the snow is going to come back around. Hopefully it does. I would love to wake up to a canopy of white tomorrow. Now let's go get our site for the night. I just got to the campsite, and I always say pay it forward, guys. It'll always come back to you. They have left me so much firewood here tonight. I don't have to spend time going through the woods, possibly getting ticks on me, because it's always tick season, but they're out. They've been out lately because we had a warm front come through. I don't have to worry about that tonight. I got a ton of wood. That means a long fire in this cold night. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but the flurries are starting to come back. Hopefully it kicks on a little bit. Tonight will be my first use of the Gonex one-person teepee tent. I can't wait to break it out and use it. I've got a lot of things I want to try tonight and a couple surprises. Look at this. I can't really complain though. I mean, all again this shows me is people had a fire who did not know how to have one. They used a ton of accelerant. They left so many big coals in here. It's not even funny. But I'm not complaining because I have got so much wood. I just treated my tent. There's another video coming up on that. I'm going to post up soon on how to treat your tents for ticks. One little step. There's my baby texting me. And right now I'm just going to clean this up. It's going to be boring. Probably a little messy, but this is one time I'm not complaining where, you know, we pay it forward, guys. I always leave extra wood when I'm at a campsite, whether I'm backpacking or camping. No matter how much I've prepared, I make sure I leave it behind. So somebody like me might roll in, or somebody who's been doing it too, paying it forward, or maybe some elderly people or somebody maybe with some handicap issues. They don't have to go searching for wood, and maybe save them a little money, because some campsites do charge for wood. This is one of them. The state forest does charge for firewood because they have to pay for the prep time, and people have to do it. They pay for the labor. I understand. But I don't have to tonight, and I'm going to have a nice fire, guys. Some nice chat. I got some nice stories, some doozy stories. And, yeah, let me clean this up. It's time to put the tent up. I've got mixed sleet and rain coming down with a little bit of snow. If the temperature drops a little more, it's going to switch over. Hopefully it switches over. I'm hoping you guys can see that snow falling, but it does have a little moisture in it. So I'm going to hook my tent up. Now tonight, of course, guys, I'm going to be using the Gonex one-person teepee tent, backpacking tent, but I'm not using the bug net, and I'm going to put down a tarp and then put the pole up. I spread the tent out and put the pole up and show you guys that's one way you can use this tent. But that's one of the things I really love about this tent, especially for the price. I think it's $35, $39, somewhere around that. But yeah, I love this tent. And just the design I love. So I'm going to test it out tonight and see how it does. If I get rain, well, that'd be a rain test too. And the truck's nearby in case it fails, so I got a run to I can go to. But I'm going to put the tarp down, put the tent up, and then bring you guys in when everything is set up. There you go. Everything's set up. Everything was smooth. The only thing I'd recommend now, after setting it up several times, I think this is like my 4th or 5th time other than the video, and I forgot because it's cold. Make sure, guys, when you first set this out or set it up, don't stake it out as tight as I did here. You probably saw me do it. Give yourself a little bit of a play. Put the pole up and then tighten it up. It caused me a little problem when I was in there because I realized, I did it too tight. I forgot last time not to do that. So just make sure you do that. You should be good. But I'm going to show you guys the inside with the tarp. Of course, I'm going to tuck in all the tarp underneath the tent so nothing's exposed. But I think it's going to work nice. I think it's going to work nice tonight. Okay, let me take you inside.
And with the deck tonight.
You know, I never did know the teepee tents had this much room in them, but I plan on getting me several. maybe another inexpensive one or maybe an expensive one, but I am becoming a huge teepee tent fan. I love it. So there you go. Everything's in there. I'm going to start getting my stuff out of the vehicle, bring it in. Then I'll bring you back when everything is totally set up. I just wanted to show you all the room I'm going to have, especially without that bug net on the inside. And it looks like I'm going to get plenty there. And I'm going to open the windows up in a little bit. And I do have some plants tonight for some added heat inside. And this window will probably be open. I'll show you guys. Something I haven't busted out in a long time, but we'll try it and see how it does. This is what I got set up so far. Of course, those are my sleeping shoes for the night when I need to go out and use the restroom. I got my fire kit, my electrics bag that has all my electronics in it, my big Agnes wide sleeping bag that I love. Tonight I'm using my Thermarest X-Therm sleeping pad. It's a little narrow. I'm looking into getting me some different sleeping pads. I'll talk about it later and hopefully get some input from my followers and subscribers. But I have a lot of experience with other pads. I'm trying to go with something for my shoulders. Of course, I have my sleep socks, which I will put on when I go to bed, and I have an extra pair of my insulated pants that I'll probably put on if I get too cold, but I don't think I will tonight because literally there is no wind. I just checked the weather and it's not going to be any more tonight. And I have my toiletry stuff here. So basically I'm on all one side of the teepee tent like that, so that way I can just crawl in. There's my backpacking bag that I bring with me. Food and drinks will be out in a minute. So I just put in my favorite lantern, which the top pops up and you have a lantern or a spotlight. Put it in here because I might hang it later or hang one of my bulbs from my battery bank. Got in my polyester hoodie, which I might use, I'm not sure yet. And also put in my down coat on top of my sleeping bag. And all that's going to sit right there until I come in tonight and I'll see what I need to sleep in or how cold it gets. I also didn't stake the, I didn't put any guy lines on it tonight, guys. I'm not going to have any wind. Right now, I don't think it's blowing more than a mile an hour. It's still. So there could be snow, we'll see. But that's all set up. And right now I'm going to go make myself a little lean-to out of a tarp. We'll see how she turns out. I think I got one more in the car. I think I got one more. The tarp I put under there is new. I bought 2 more new ones because I had to use them on a home repair and they got dirty. And I thought I grabbed them both. I hope I did. All right, let's go set this up. I go check in the Mazda. I don't have the other tarp, which I thought I had. So I brought my small tarp, which I was going to use as a kneeler. And I thought I had both other tarps, the new ones. I don't have them. So Mike, with his little bit of ingenuity, I made myself a nice little lean-to. And so if it does rain, I'll be covered and I can still enjoy the fire. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. It's only, I swear, I think this material is probably 4.5, maybe 5 foot by 7. It was a tarp I used up at one time. And I always keep extra tarps for anything. You could always use the material for something, even if you want to make a wood carrier out of them. Of course, I brought my backpacking chair. I got a nice little lean-to going because I always have my poles in the car. But if I didn't have these, I'd probably just guy them off the trees. And I even had extra length of speaker wire to pull down the side of this little lean-to. If you guys don't know, speaker wire makes a higher gauge speaker wire. Don't get on me if I'm wrong. I think it's around 14 gauge, somewhere around that. Because one time I found a big spool of it at a Goodwill. And I used to use it when I was learning my knots, when I was learning my tying tarps and all that stuff. And I kept everything. That way, if I cut it and wasted it, it didn't matter. And although it doesn't slide as well, when you tie something with that cord and that plastic, it does not come undone. And I still have a bunch of it left over, so I still use it. So what I use was some top of them, some acorns for buttons, because I want to poke holes in it. I did it here and back there. And now I got myself, if it does come on raining, from snow to rain, I'm good. I got a nice little lean-to. It'll only keep this rain from hitting me from the top because it's not windy and there's no wind forecast. So if it does come down, I'll be pretty well protected just from a straight rain. The wind kicks up. This ain't gonna be much, but I don't think it's going to. But right now I got something nice and set up and the tent's safe. I got a nice spot and I'll show you what I did to the fire pit to try to help it because it is full. I might have a smoky fire to start. I hope not. I think I'm gonna have a smoky fire. Now the fire pit, that fire ring is full. Usually that fire ring is 3 inches deep, but there's so many large coals in there. I couldn't get it out. There's even a little bit of a tin can you can see over there. So what I basically did was this. I just got in here and just hacked it all as tight as I could. It needs to be cleaned out. And this way I'll lay my stuff on top and it might pull some of the moisture out, might have a little smoky fire, but this way to keep it down. And I kept the bigger coals over here in case I need them. We'll see what it does, but I'm gonna get that fire set up in a minute. This back here is a game trail. But once in a while people use it, and I'm curious that, make sure nobody's done anything they shouldn't be doing. There's a lot of down trees back here, so I shouldn't have too much problem finding stuff. But the storm stir up a lot. Oh man, I see a big tree down. All right, sorry, I had to close up the legs on my tripod. Man, this is a huge tree down here. Wow. Guys, if you can't see that, I'm gonna make sure you do. Yeah, and then the game trail goes off in the wood, but a lot thicket, but I don't wanna go. And I'm gonna have to put my camera tilted forward, and I'm gonna let you guys see it. Man, can you see that? That pulled up, that is that base is about 15 to 18 foot wide. Wow. And the camera's about 10 feet above me with my tripod. That's crazy. Man, that thing is big. That's what she said. Haha, personal joke. But, man, it came down and took down 3 or 4 trees with it. The things you see out in nature is crazy. I wish I could go closer, but nah, it ain't worth it. I don't want to get all muddy, and it is densely packed with thorns and a lot of thicket and just mud. I say it all the time. Get out in there, get out in the woods. I hate the fact that the cold season's ending, although we probably got a good month of 30, 40 degree weather. And I'm afraid the snow's not coming tonight. It bums me out. Really thought we were gonna get some. But, man, I want a snow adventure so bad, because my wife and I plan on moving in several years from now, and we're gonna head further west. I want to be out where I could spend a week out in the snow camping or doing things I want to do out there. Not just the cold, but I want to experience a lot. But I've told you guys many times, I still work a full-time job. I'm a tradesman, and I get out now when I can, which is mostly a lot, usually every weekend or something if my wife and I can do it. Let's go wander off and see if we can find some small stuff. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys here. I'm gonna wander off. I'm gonna wander off right in there real quick, get some small stuff for the fire, stack it up, maybe split some stuff. Let's get this nice started. I got some food, I got some drinks, and I got some stories. All right, let's see what we get. A lot of big things I've been winning. Even though they left me a lot of wood, some of the wood is wet. They did a bad thing by taking down some trees, and it's not seasoned. They mixed it in with some seasoned wood, so it took me a little while to find some that's got some age to it, not much moisture. I got enough moisture problem dealing with this pit, but I got me a nice little stack here. I got some twigs, branches. I got some more branches over there I'm gonna break up, and I'm gonna get a couple more and we're gonna start it. Lucky to find some nice dry bark out here on one of the limbs I was breaking up this for tinder. Trying to get this nice and fibrous, get those things out. Some of that ember catching on too. I am rusty, but I got a nice bed here and a nice bed over there. Hoping I can spark it up and get it started. But we're good. I got a bed here and I got a nice bed there, almost exactly the same. Let's try it out. The biggest thing for me is always getting comfortable. Yes. Well, did work. Man, I can't believe I let my skills get that rusty. But I still got them. All right, now that the fire is rolling, I'm not hungry right yet, so I might pop me a brew to start the night. Wow. This was the actual branch I found over there. I was breaking it up, and you can see that bark started to pull right off it. And I was realizing, wait a minute, I hadn't looked for bark yet because I needed to practice my fire start. I hadn't done it in a while. And I just did it all of a sudden. You saw, I pulled 2 big strips down it, broke it all up. I even have some left on the table. Might save it. Yeah, we got a nice fire now. You know what time it is. Yeah, I'm not sure if I shared this tip before, guys, but if you ever have wet wood just stack it around the fire or inside the fire, around like that. My wife and I have had fires and downpours like that by just getting that wood dry on the inside. And as it dries, just flip them over. And I got a nice stack. They do have a little moisture in them though. Also, while I'm out tonight, I want to wish our grandson Zachary in Florida, Zachary with an X, a happy 5th birthday. Bud, my mom and I saw your candle and we loved it. Just want to say happy birthday again. We hope to see you guys real soon. The fire gets a little more established. I'm going to have me some hot dogs and some chips, some bad food tonight, and some beer. And I'll top the night off with some whiskey. And it's not getting as cold as I thought it would. I would have a secret, something I wanted to keep warm tonight. But hopefully it does. The bottom drops and it gets really cold. I think tonight it's sticking around 20 right now. I'm not that cold at all. I'm going to bust out these hot dogs. Chili cheese. And thankfully, I brought one of our pokers from home. Extend it, heat it up. You all know the drill. I could find a stick, but I'm actually finding I love a 2-prong when I'm having these hot dogs. I don't want to drop them in the fire. That frustrates me to no end. Let's do this. I highly recommend and love using wraps or flatbread, which they call it. Just something about that perfect wrap to hot dog ratio. And then I'm going to have another treat. Fire's rolling, hot dog's done. Done. Time to have it with a nice adult beverage. I noticed when I was out getting some more scrap wood, I cut my finger. I don't know how I did it. But I got a couple doozies to tell you. But I'm going to sit back, relax, enjoy this a little bit. I hope you guys can hear ducks going by. I had a nice owl over there hooting a little while ago, but he got quiet on me. So still, it's one of those great, cool nights to be out camping. Hear it? Hear them? They're right above me. No wind at all. The woods are entirely to myself. No one's out here. Plenty of wood for a fire, and the night is just starting. Well, I'm sitting here relaxing for a little bit by the fire. I thought I'd tell you one of the stories from this past, well, happened a couple weeks ago, but I thought I'd share it with you guys because it's crazy. All right. About 3 weeks ago, the wife and I noticed that our car had a little shake, and it felt like it was in the back, but it was in the, actually, sometimes it felt like it was in the steering, but it happened all of a sudden out of nowhere, and I thought it may have been one of the tires came misaligned, or a weight fell off, or maybe a belt went in one of the tires. I didn't think it was anything major, so we took it to a garage that my wife and I have taken our cars to a lot of time and done a lot of work. I had to get the chair, guys, sitting on my leg. It was falling asleep. So my wife and I had a lot of work done to this garage. Whenever we needed something I couldn't get to, I'm very handy. I can usually figure things out, but this time I just wanted it taken care of. So she took it in. They called us the next day. Check this out. They told us it was going to be like over $2,000 in repairs. I'm like, what? No. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. I'm coming in to pick it up. I'll fix it. So after doing a little bit of research, about a day's research it took me, there was a couple things it could have been. It could have been wheel bearings, which the car does. It's time for him to get them. That Mazda has 150,000 on it, which is that time of replacing them. So I knew it needed them, but it is a little work. And there was a couple other things it could be. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to tackle it. Took a while to get the things that I needed because you know me, it's just like backpacking gear. I got the best deal I could on it. I spent $100 in parts for both sets of rear wheel bearings with the hub and everything with it. So started on one day after work. Or was it one day after work or on the weekend? I think it was on the weekend. A buddy of mine who's a mechanic, the guy I work with, part-time. He's been a mechanic most of his life. While I was midway through it, he came over and together we finished it because there were some spots you needed both two sets of hands in there. Because I started on the passenger side, and the way things tighten and loosen, it was just very hard to get to with one set of hands. But I'm glad, because the next day I did the other set of wheel bearings on the back. Took it out the day after, because by the time I finished I was tired. It wasn't the wheel bearings. Well, I thought, okay, I spent $100 so far, and I've did something major. I fixed the wheel bearings on the front and the back. I mean, on both back wheels, I'm sorry, on the driver's side and passenger. And then I was going to the gym the next day. I'm going to the gym, and then, you know when you have that epiphany, like something hits you, and you're like, oh my God, it was that. That year and that make of Mazda has one thing wrong with it. It has a couple things. But it's known for sticking brake calipers. And a year and a half ago, I fixed the one on the passenger front when it had the same thing. But life goes on, you forgot how it felt. And when it happened, I could have swore it was something else. Well, guess what? I fixed it, ordered a new rotor, a new caliper. The front brakes were already good. I didn't have to change them right now. For a total of $100. So for $200 and my time and a little bit of research, I fixed both sets of wheel bearings in the back. And the actual problem was a $100 parts repair. And that place wanted to charge my wife and I over $2,000. Yeah, let's just say they'll never get our business again. And my wife will be taking care of them. I don't know if she's going to seek anything legally, but she will be letting everyone know on social media, don't take your car there anymore. And there's no sense in that. Really. You've lost my business and my family's business forever, when I would have gladly paid maybe $400 or $500 more in labor so someone else could do it and I didn't have to do it, but I did it. So for $200, look at all the repairs I did. Just pisses me off that there are still people out there in all kinds of trades that will rob and rape anyone they can, and don't even get me down the mechanic field. I'm pretty handy on everything, but sometimes I will pay a little extra if I don't have to take the time to do it. But yeah, then that piss you off. $100 repair, and he was going to charge us over $2,000. Yeah, pay attention where you take your stuff, guys. Once you find out they ain't trustworthy, take it someplace else. So that was a whopper. Because of the length of time of getting the parts, diagnosing the problem after I fixed the wheel bearings, it was 3 weeks. We didn't have I have a car that I use for work. It's my everyday car, and I've had for, believe it or not, I've had that car 18 years. That's my daily driver. Well, I call it my hoopty. The family knows it's my hoopty, and my wife, I told her she married me because she wants to get a hold of that hoopty. But I've had that car 18 years, and I'm going to drive that thing until it dies. I love it. It's been a busy couple weeks with, trust this, check this out too. At the same time that happened, our stove went down in the kitchen. It's electric. It went down. And she said, babe, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the stove's not working. And this is on top of me researching the problem the first time, trying to diagnose whether it was wheel bearings or whatever. That went down. That's not it. So, most people know electric stoves in the oven, it's usually the coil that will go. So after pulling it out and taking the back off, I realized it was a coil. That was a $22 repair. Had to get a new coil, of course, wait for it to come in. And it was cool too, because I told my wife if she needed to cook anything, I was going to bust out some of our stuff, backpacking stuff. And then the very next day, that night we went to bed, of course, most of the stuff I watch is through the internet. Most everybody streams everything nowadays. And I love Roku boxes. I have them in every room that we watch television. And the Roku in our bedroom went down right when we were going to bed. And this is the very next day after the stove. When it rains, it pours. And Mike was cussing a little bit like a sailor. But as usual, put my nose to the grindstone and fixed all 3 problems. All right, I'm going to load up this fire some more. But I wanted to share those stories with you guys. Isn't that something? When it rains, it pours, but ride it through. Guys, if you can, ride it through. You'll get through it. You'll get through it. Greater times or could be a day away. She's blazing now, guys. It's so peaceful out here. The only thing I miss about summertime camping or any time in warmer weather, I miss the crickets. It gets so quiet out here. Another thing I want to thank everyone for, the channel just hit 400 subscribers. Guys, thank you. This drink's for you, and cheers. we're all in this together, we're sharing everything we know, and I'm really enjoying the journey, really. I mean, I always wanted to have a channel, but you know, we all get busy, we all have life. And then once I started it and getting feedback and talking with subscribers, it is freaking cool. I'm sorry, it is. I'm loving it. And I also got one thing to say. One of my subscribers put in not too long ago, he was curious about the Gonex tent. It does have two-way zippers, my friend. So if you watch this video, I'll actually put a text up, or what do I put? A comment? Yeah, I'll put a comment up. But when I did the first impressions video, I zipped it both ways, but I didn't mention that. So it does have two-way zippers. There's a zipper on both sides, so you can go either direction. That's one. Oh, and another one. This is cool. Whenever I've worked on cars through the years, I have a set of, I don't know, I can't even remember where I picked them up at. But they're like carpet tiles, like 24 by 2 foot by 2 foot, or 2 foot by 2 foot carpet tiles. And I have a stack of them, maybe like 10 or 12 a box. I think I bought a box or picked a box up somewhere. But I've used them for when I'm laying underneath of a car working outside. I've always used them for that, so I keep them in my trunk. But when I put the video up on how to make your tent warmer, somebody put that up as an idea, and I was like, well, you know what, that is a good idea. So I forgot to tell you guys earlier, when I got done prepping it and I showed a video of what it looks like inside the tent, I have carpet tiles on top of the tarp now. And then I have my sleeping bag and stuff, just to give me a little more insulation. Because one thing I'm having a problem with right now is finding sleeping pads that are wide enough for me when I sleep. My wife bought me one, I think 2 Father's Days ago. I think it was 2 Father's Days ago, and it just got a leak in it, or I think it recently can't remember when it had it, but it does have a leak, and I'm going to have to patch it. I think I might go to either some kind of actually roll-up solid foam or something when I go camping, because as much as I love the lighter weight of air mattresses in the summertime, or even in the fourth season when you can have the insulated ones, I'm really getting tired of them leaking. And I even have a big Agnes insulated air core, which I love, that I'm going to fix. So I have 2 good ones I have to fix. But I'm learning that I just need that width. And that sleeping bag I have that I've had now for a couple years that I picked up at a Goodwill, I love that thing. I need girth and width. And then when I turn in that sleeping bag, I'm fine. But I want to get is that, I can't remember. It's a backcountry bed. Is it Sierra Designs? The backcountry bed that is an envelope that you get inside, and it has like a quilt underneath of it that you can turn. That'll probably be my sleeping bag in the future. I definitely want to get one and test one of those out. I'll put it up on the channel. I know other people have, but they may not be my size as a shorter, bigger guy. So we'll see. Sit back, have a couple more drinks, relax. My son is supposed to video chat with me later if he can, and I'll catch up with him. Right now, I'm going to enjoy this fire, and if I can think of another story or if anything else pops up, I'll bring you back. You guys hear that? I've got an owl out there going off, and there's something else going off out there. All right, I just checked the last clip, and you could hear the owl going off in the background. But what you guys didn't hear is the owl started doing its normal noise, which it makes, and then it got weird. Then I heard a loud screech of another bird. So I don't know if there was some kind of fight going on, or something was near the owl's nest or threatening it, but it was really weird. That's why I got up and jumped and grabbed the camera. There it was. All set up, guys. I'm going to get things ready for the night. Things I don't need, I'm going to put away. Things I do need, I'm going to get ready. I still can't get over how much room is in this tent. It's crazy. I think I'm going to turn into a teepee tent fanatic, because this is pretty damn cool. All right, I'm gonna get my shoes off, put my socks on, my insulated pants on, because it is a little bit chilly, but even though the wind's picked up, nothing is coming in here. I've got everything isolated and by myself. So I'm going to get in my bag, bring you back, and show you one little thing I got for the night to heat up the inside of the tent. And it's pretty cool. Guys, I'm all snuggled in my sleeping bag. But one thing I prepared for tonight, and I want to test it out and try it. I actually had made myself a small, out of a quart can, a hobo stove with alcohol. I'll describe it tomorrow. I'll talk about it. With 70% alcohol. And I want to see how it'll keep the tent warm for like a couple of hours. Right now the temperature is about 25. We all know they always had the weather wrong. The weather was wrong tonight. We didn't get any snow, no precipitation. The only thing that was right is the wind was almost a non-issue all night. There was no wind, and the temperature didn't get as low as they thought it would be. So that's where we are. But I'm going to show you my little hobo stove I made over there. I'm going to light it, sit by it for a couple hours, and then fade away. There is no heat as far as putting your hand above it within a foot, 12 inches away. You're not feeling any heat at all. You get closer to that flame, it's a different story. So it's more like an ambient heat. It all depends on how much alcohol you use. I am tired. You use in your alcohol hobo stove. But I'm curious to see how much heat it's going to put out here tonight. I'm going to let that burn for a couple hours. I'm going to pass out and go to sleep and let that burn. I'm safe. The window's open. And there's no wind. I'll let you guys know a little bit. But right now, I'm turning in. So, unless anything shows up or anything turns up or there's any news in the night, I will see you guys in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning, friends. Had a great night. Whew. Just got out of the tent, made my coffee. Oh, that's good. That first sip of the day. Well, what can we say about last night? What can we say? First of all, the tent. Everything I expected it was. Spacious and plenty of airflow and no humidity inside it at all. Perfect for that. I'm still shocked at how much space I have inside that tent. I'm not used to having that much room. I mean, getting in and out was easy. Crawling around and finding my stuff was easy. Now, it was a little colder inside the tent because basically it's a single wall and there's so much cold air with all that room. That being said, when you take this tent out in bitter cold, I can see taking a stove or something like that to keep it nice and warm inside because you have so much of a volume of air inside there to just heat up with your body. Also, I busted out that hobo stove last night. It stayed lit for about 3 hours and it did work inside there. I'd say it brought the temperature up when I enclosed myself to a little more comfortable level. You know, when I made that, I used 70% alcohol, so it wouldn't burn as hot or as long. I didn't want that much to worry about when I was inside there. After using that, I think next time, that's a quart can. I think next time I'll use the, is it 92% alcohol, 90% alcohol? I'm not sure which one it is. That's the one I'll use next time. I'm not worried about heat. I'm worried about longer burn time. That would have been nicer to have in there. Maybe 4 hours. It did work. I liked it. It didn't cause any heat on the walls of the tent. And I thought that would be something nice to fall asleep by and also give me some warmth. I don't know. Maybe one time I might try a gallon hobo stove. I have another one of those cans and make one out of that. I'd have to use a hell of a lot of paper towels though. A lot to make that. But overall, it worked great. I slept good. I think I had the sleeping pad a little too hard between well, I'd say around 5 o'clock, I woke up and I had a little bit of hard time going back to sleep. So all I did was just turn the nozzle a little bit, let some air out till I felt my body sink a little bit, shut it off, and then I fell right back asleep and slept. And slept hard those last hour or hour and a half. And the only thing I'm a little bummed about the whole trip, we didn't get any snow. It flurried before I came out. It flurried when I first got here, but it never got any heavy flurries, just light flurries. And the temperature never did plummet like it was supposed to. I don't know if the front went around us, you know, above us or below us, but we didn't get any. And I think as cold as it got here last night was 20, maybe. And man, I wanted to wake up to some snow today. Just not in the cards. I don't think it's in the cards this year to get any snow. At least where I'm at. I'll have to go chase it down. What are you going to do? Sometimes the weatherman's right, and sometimes he is horribly wrong. I finished my coffee up. Packed my stuff up. And that's about it. But I am happy. The tent did great. I also brought my hammock last night. I didn't get to use it, but I only sat in it once and relaxed. The stars weren't out as much as I hoped they would be, so I got to lounge in it a little bit. But I'm sure everybody knows who bought that hammock already, who has that hammock or a hammock like it. It's just a big benefit to bring with you when you're camping. So I might take that even when I go tent camping in the woods, just carry that so I can lounge in it. We'll see. So thanks for coming along with me last night, guys. Hanging out with me by the campfire, all the chat, all the stories, and testing out the tent. So please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys again real soon. That's a wrap. Just got in the vehicle, about ready to leave, and just took my hat off. You want to talk about some crazy hat hair? That's crazy. All right, guys, I'm out.